Oliver back to back. All right. Why? I don't know. He is in the slot. He's gonna be number 26, which is that I think that's Eccles' number, right? 26, I believe. He's right here. Let's watch. Okay. So one thing we do not want from our safety is missed tackles. He's right here again. Okay, I don't really the second one's not so bad, but looks like they're in a cover six. He's in the curl to flat. He passes off the number two. The number two goes vertical, so he's not going to worry about that anymore. He's going to get out to the number one, sees the number one, angle's just too flat, barely touches him. Got to break down better here. Got to take a better angle. So that near hip, he's taking an angle way over the top. And again, over the top, you have another DB closing down. So cheat a little bit to the inside. Just know where your help is coming from. Help's coming from the sideline. So again, take a more inside angle. Obviously gets outflanked or gets cut underneath, misses a tackle. And then here, this one, yeah, he ends up making the tackle with his other defender because the receiver gears down as the defender comes. But for Oliver again, closes down in this angle a little bit too far over the top, which makes him really bite down to the inside when he fakes the inside and then misses the tackle. Let's say that DB is not there over the top. Does he outrun Oliver right there? Yeah, probably. So, two semi-ish missed tackles in a row there. Another missed tackle here. Missed tackle heel nipper. Okay, so he's like diving at the shoes and stuff. So again, not something you necessarily want from a safety, but he's right here, nearest defender. Expands into his curl to flat zone. Ball is dumped off. You got to make that tackle 100 times out of 100. Yeah, his knee's not on the ground. How you don't make this tackle, I don't really know. I'm not even saying like cross the helmet. I know, and I got a comment like, oh, youth football coaches are teaching people, kids to keep their head out of their helmet out of the tackle. They're teaching that more like rugby style tackling. I get it. That's completely fine. But what we have to have with into our tackle, regardless, is we got to drive our feet. We got to stay upright. We got to drive our feet. He hits here and just goes limp fish with his lower body, and then can't bring a running back down who's literally pretty much on the ground already. That's a bad. That's just straight up bad. Gains an extra 5 yards because of that. Can't have it. Easy interception. All right. He's right here, right there in the slot. Looking like we're running another cover four here. Quarters. Expands in the curl to flat. Nothing's outside because he kind of just sits in a spot. Breaks down on the running back who just gets the check down. Ball bounces off his hands. Isaiah Oliver, nice adjustment to the ball. Taps it to himself, gets the pick. Okay. It's an interception. Again, not all interceptions are created equally because 9 times out of 10 that running back either catches the ball, or let's just say 1 out of 100 times the ball pops up like that for him to catch it. But hey, we'll take it. We will take it. Tough spot, good coverage. All right. Um, he's right here, bottom slot. Yeah. Now, why do I say a tough spot? Because obviously you have the motion there from number five. So then he's in man coverage on the number two. The one becomes a two really quickly. And because he's like running at the snap right there, it's gonna be really hard for Oliver to like, basically get shuffles in and play like any type of like, like basic type of press coverage because he's already running and he already has momentum. So it's a really tough play for Oliver. So Oliver does a pretty good job of getting a shuffle in, staying over the top or getting over the top, but not like he doesn't sprint and overreact over the top. Like you see how he opens up. He's forced to. It's a tough spot. You can't really just get shuffles in because he's already running. So he's forced to open up. Does a good job of cutting off the angle, but also not overreacting to the inside, getting a really nice speed turn, again, cutting off the angle. He undercuts you. Snap your head out of that speed turn. Get your arm back. You see how he throws his left arm over the front right like that. It's to guide the route. It's obviously to throw himself in front while also gearing down the receiver. State matches the break. Really good coverage there. Like this is not an easy ask. This is not an easy ask from any corner. He does a really good job playing it though. That's a good play. Beat on a slant. Okay. Beat slant. He's right here. Slot. Yeah, so he's in no man's land right here. Like I hate the 3 yard off coverage. It's just you can't really you can't get hands on. You like are forced to open up sometimes. So one thing with here, he shuffles over the top. Receiver gives him a shuffle release. He shuffles over the top. Receiver undercuts it on the slant. Easy completion. Why? He kind of he screws himself from the jump here. It's just a really tough spot to be in, and he doesn't have the most like he's not laterally explosive. He's not the most explosive corner in the world. He'll move well decently for a safety for a corner. He's not the best mover, and maybe that's why they moved him, because they felt his movement skills weren't very necessarily good for playing corner, which I kind of agree with. I don't think he's the best athlete in the world, but he kind of screws himself from the jump here. Reacts to the outside move, bites, beat on the slant, leverage. I mean, or alignment there. Got to choke up a little bit there. And if we're not choking up there, then we definitely can't react to any type of shuffle releases or anything like that until we're into that contact range, into that contact window. Oliver patient. Okay. Right here. Again, don't love the fact that we're playing this, 3 yards off type of deal. I believe this is on Waller. So this is more of the matchups he'll see with the Jets because he's going to play safety. Now again, he has better speed to match these guys. I like the fact that again, patient off the line, which he's going to have to be with this type of coverage. I just don't like it. Nice and square, nice and sunken into his press or into his stance. Patient feet, gets a shuffle inside. Left hand onto the shoulder pad, right hand to follow. So good jam. 1, 2, alternating hands. Run with him. Just trail him. Just stay on his ass, literally. It's a good job. Nice patient feet. Maybe you want to see him a little bit more active off the jump, but still does a good job getting a shuffle in. Good punch location. We could see some of the length there. Punch location, strike timing, good. Follow it, and then run with him. Follow him right on his ass. Why? We're talking about like jet streaming, because if there's rubs, anything like that, and he let's say he was play over the top right here, then guess what? He runs into that receiver, he's wide open. Want to stay on his ass because obviously there's gonna be less chance of traffic hitting you in that instance without hitting him as well. Which at that point, who cares? Feet inactive, length helps. Okay, right here. Getting a little bit too far off. I don't love the whole. He could choke up another yard easily here. He could be here. Makes it a lot better of a rep. I don't like the 3 yards off. No, it's no man's land to me. Just not great. You put yourself in a really tough spot. Now, he does a pretty good job staying patient though. Like again, I want to see a little bit more activity in the feet, but he does a good job, leaning, staying ready. Gets that jab to the outside, which slightly weight transfers himself to the outside. Now his length helps him. This is where I'm talking about length. Length is important for a lot of reasons. Let's say his arms are an inch or two shorter there. Does he get that slingshot to help himself propel himself back inside? If he this hand right here both slows down the receiver while also opening his hips up and propelling him to the inside, and then he gets on his hip, matches the break. Yeah, there's like a slight window there. I'm sure the quarterback could fit it in there. Tyrod could fit it in there, but not going to happen. It's a tough ask for the quarterback. Again, this is a picture perfect example of where the length where we're having good length helps. Turn around with them. Okay. Oliver open, no shuffle, backside or bottom slot. Sorry, not backside. Bottom outside slot right here. Choked up a little bit more. Now we're like 2 yards off. I like that a little bit better. Problem here is what? He gets beat on the slant. Why? Instead of getting shuffles in, we open the gate immediately. There's really not much to that release there. Gather step, gather into like a hop. There's really not much here. Two doesn't do really much of anything there that's effective. Oliver, for really no reason, opens the hips up. Again, ideally, or not ideally, we want to get a shuffle in here to choke the route off. We don't want to open, because if we open, guess what? Yeah, we're protecting against vertical right here. But if he gears down like a bullet slant, one step slant, guess what? We're going over the top of him. Again, his length almost helps him here, slingshot himself back inside, but the receiver chops down on it. He wins on the slant. Now the ball's not there. I don't care, but it's still a rep where he got beat because of him opening his hips immediately. Got to get shuffles in. That's exactly why. Oliver man rep. Okay. Right here. Bottom outside slot. On Gallup. Again, relatively patient here. I don't love him being so far off. It is what it is. He still has some forward lean in his press. Don't love the hop back. We don't want to double hop back off this because at this whole motion right here, we can't react with our feet. So Gallop just like a shitty stretch release. Oliver hops back. Length helps. Length helps slingshot himself back inside. Right hand on. Right hand on. And just maintain context. His hands come off, but he maintains it. And patient, don't love the hop back, but still length helps him self propel inside. Get hands on him, match the break. Lock up that route versus Gallop, who was, he fell off hard after his injuries. Oliver man rep